Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network's YouTube channel. Become enlightened, have fun, and tell all your friends and family to share with everyone they know. You can find us on Facebook and stay up to date on our Facebook group, or find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts can be found on Libsyn, iHeart, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. Most of all, remember to go to our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for podcasts, hosts, future shows, and scheduling. We also want to welcome our international audience. Don't stop now. Enjoy the community. Subscribe today.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. Welcome to Conscious Radio Network's weekly podcast series, The Seance. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Meckes. If this is your first time tuning in, please click subscribe, like, share, comment, and also follow wherever you listen to your podcast. Today, reincarnation and near-death experiences. Why are we here? Today, she is a psychic medium who has worked with missing person cases, as well as consulting with many well-known paranormal groups and authors, an author herself and teacher of psychic and mediumship development. She created the Relationship Mastery Program, which teaches people how to change their energy, learn their 5 love lessons, and magnetize anyone or anything into their life. Let's welcome to the first time to the show, June Edwards. Welcome, June.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You are very welcome. So, this is, I think this is the first time we've actually really dove into the NDE and reincarnation experiences and phenomenon.
Really?
So, yeah, we touched maybe, we said the word a couple times, but we never really dove into it.
Well, I can give you lots of info.
So, perfect day for it.
Absolutely.
Perfect day for it.
Let's see, where should we start? We'll start with NDEs? Let's start there.
Yeah, let's start with NDEs.
Okay. So I died when I was 27, and I came back here by choice. And I never called it an NDE because it wasn't a near-death experience. I died. And I did a lot of research into NDEs in the last year or two, to be honest, getting prepared for a TED Talk. And what I found is that everybody's lumped into that NDE category.
Yeah.
So we're not the suit that sits here. We are the energetic soul that's inside here. That's who we truly are. Okay. We're like actors playing a play, or Avatar, if you've seen the movie. And when, there's 2 things you take with you when you die. You take with you your knowledge, and you take with you all of your feelings. I used to say it was just love because I felt an overwhelming sense of love on the other side. Mm-hmm. But I've since learned doing this work that we take all of our feelings with us. I've brought through many souls that are still angry, hurt, regretful, different things. So if something's going to happen to you, say you're going to be in a car accident, before that impact happens, your higher self, which is the majority of your soul that's not in your body, it's in the 5th dimension, and it orchestrates the timing of the events that happen in your life, has the balance of your soul jump out of your body, believe it or not, so that you don't feel that impact and it doesn't really damage your soul. My younger brother was 16 and in a severe car accident, and he remembers standing on the sidewalk watching the whole thing happen until the paramedics came and he went back into his body. They consider that a near-death experience. It is near-death, but you weren't supposed to die. It wasn't your time. Yeah. Same thing with a girlfriend of mine, and she was hit by a deer, came through the side window. And she's a devout Catholic, and she remembers her soul being stuck on the headliner of the car. She saw the soul of the deer go up to heaven, but she didn't. Oh. And until she met me, she really thought that she did something wrong and wasn't going to go to heaven because her soul was stuck on the roof of the car. It wasn't her time. It was just jumping out of her body, so her soul didn't feel all that pain and impact. Okay. Protection, basically. So everybody's lumped into that. Less than 10% of the people that have a near-death experience get to the level that I got to. So when I died, and I'll tell you how I died and what happened in a second, but that level is the lowest level of heaven. It's the 5th dimension. If for any reason I lose power because it's blinking, I will get back to you on my phone so we can back into the show. So we're in 3D here, having a human experience. 4D is your dream state. So when you go to sleep at night, your vibration actually rises and you go into that dream state. And 5D is the lowest level of heaven. There are many different levels of heaven, but that's the lowest level, and that's where I went when I died. So less than 10% of the people that have an NDE get to that level. Less than that have a full life review, which I had. And that's like sitting in the front seat of an IMAX theater. Okay. And then even less than that are told that it's not their time and given a choice to come back. That's next to no one, but that's what happened to me. So when I was 22, I injured my back. I needed back surgery. I put it off for 5 years. I put it off as long as I could because I knew if I went in for the surgery, I was going to die. And that's my soul. When you have that knowing, that is your soul. I think is my brain. I know is my soul. And I put it off until I had no choice. And the night before I went into the hospital, I'm like, listen, guys, I know that I'm going to die. I need to make sure everything's taken care of. You're just afraid. You'll be fine. So sure enough, now I'm thinking, I'm concerned about the surgery because I'm thinking I'm going to die on the surgery, right?
Yeah.
The night before the surgery, they take me in for an MRI test with a contrast dye. And I told them that I thought I was allergic to it because I'd had it once before, had a really bad experience and a hard time getting off the table for hours. And they're like, oh, that's fine. That happens to everybody. What do I know? I'm 27. I'm not the doctor, right? So as soon as they administered the dye, I died.
Oh.
And when people die and talk about it, it's a little bit different for everybody. Everybody has a little bit different of an experience. And a lot of people that have an NDE, they might see a tunnel or see the light, things like that. I did not. I was immediately, within a second, whisked to heaven. And that's where I was, the 5th dimension. And as much as I could see everything that was happening below to my body, I could see everything in the hospital. I could see the room behind me and the old man there. I could hear the nurses at the nurses' station sit there chit-chatting away about it. So it took I don't know how long I was dead for, to be quite honest with you. They say 3 minutes is brain damage, but people have been dead 30 minutes and have none. But it took him quite a bit of time because he had to go over and look at me. And then he had to go back to across the room and hit the paddle on the wall. And then they had to wait for the nurse to come in with the crash cart. And then they injected the IV line with something to try to get me going, and that didn't work. And then they paddled me, and that didn't work. And then they paddled me again, and it didn't work. And then they tipped the table up, so I was like at an angle, almost upside down, and he was slapping my face saying, I can't lose you, I can't lose you. I don't feel a thing because I'm not there, literally. Yeah. So I'm watching the movie of my life. And it was literally, I mean, again, and when people get that life review, it's different for everybody. And I think it's specific to what it is they want you to see and understand. And I had a very difficult life and a horrible childhood. And they were showing me all of the wonderful times that I'd had in my life. That's all they were showing me. The people that loved me, the important occasions. But they didn't show me my children, which was interesting. And I'm really, then I heard from behind me that it's not really my time. I can stay if I want to, or I could go back. It's my choice. And I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is just incredible here. And then I remembered that I had 2 very young children here at the time. And they were a big reason why I came here to begin with, and that they brought me the most joy in my life. And as soon as I decided I wanted to come back for them, seconds, I was back in my body in seconds.
Yeah.
And when you think of quantum physics and the speed of light, The speed of light is almost 300 million miles a second. I love the science behind all this, because people try to claim, oh, it's woo, woo, woo. No, there's science behind all of this. And I'm a very scientific person. You know, before this happened, I was one of these people that if I can't see it, feel it, touch it, it must not be real, right? Until it happens to you, because our belief system is based on what we've been taught or what we experience. And it took me a long time to be able to even talk about it without bawling my eyes out, because it was so emotional. And the speed of light is very, very fast. So I was back into my body in a second. And what was the point I was going to make about that? I don't even remember. But this is how fast we travel when we're not stuck in this body, basically. Once you've gone into the light. You know, souls that leave their body and die and don't go into the light, they're stuck here as ghosts. I call them low vibrational entities, because I feel energy. I read energy. And I feel them the same as a human being. They are at the same vibration. So vibration, energy, frequency, all different terms for the same word. Okay. And yeah, it's absolutely incredible. And I used to think the two things we took with us were knowledge and love, because I experienced just overwhelming love on the other side, just incredible love. But now that I do this work, I've realized that we take all of our feelings with us. This is why your soul jumps out of, you know, in front of a car before a car accident or something, because you don't want to take those feelings. You don't want that hurt. You don't want to feel that. And you take all of your feelings with you. I've brought many, many souls through that are still angry, regretful, hurt, things like that. So it's really nice when I can give closure to people on this side and on the other side, because they need it there the same. Yeah.
I would say I'm part of that club, the NDE club. I had an NDE, left my body when I was 18 going on 19. After high school, had a motorcycle accident. And all I remember was I slammed on the brakes and off I went. Motorcycle went up underneath the car. I saw my body. I left. I saw everything was going on. I was up above. Just saw my body just rolling like a rag doll across the road. And then woke up in the ambulance.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Yeah, your body, your soul comes out of your body and then goes back in when the medical attention is there to be able to help.
Yeah, but it did hurt afterwards. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. You're back in your body. It's interesting. You know, it's like when you're out of your body, when you don't have this, there's no pain. There's no heaviness. It's weightless. It's just, it's just amazing. It really is. So anybody that's worried about their loved one on the other side, I can tell you, they're in an amazing place. But you know, they do live vicariously through us because they don't have bodies, and they don't usually reincarnate for about 350 to 400 years. So there's exceptions to every rule. I did work on a murder case where the little girl was 10 years old and she was not on the other side. I couldn't bring her through, and her family from the other side came through to let me know she reincarnated almost immediately after she'd been murdered. But that's the exception to the rule. You know, most souls, 350 to 400 years before they reincarnate, they want to make sure that everyone that they knew here is gone, because they're still living that life. You don't change into somebody else or something different when you die. You're the same as you were here. You just don't have a body. So if you're an idiot here, you're an idiot there. There's no difference. Trust me.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts about the, we kind of, that segues into the next question as far as group reincarnation.
Group.
Yeah.
Okay. Explain what you mean by group reincarnation.
Well, there's been this discussion that I've heard for the longest time, that there's this that we reincarnate sort of in groups. I mean, not like, oh well, I gotta stay with the platoon, or something like that.
So there are soul groups. Okay, so every archangel is in charge of a soul group. Mm-hmm. And the angels themselves are who help us with our plans. So we plan this life before we come here. And it's very intricate, and it takes quite a while to do it. It's almost like sitting down and making your own Monopoly game. Okay. Mm-hmm. You decide who you're going to interact with, who you owe karmic debts to that you're going to pay, who owes it to you that you're going to collect on. And there's main reasons that we come here. For the first one, believe it or not, it's a mini vacation. Because when you're on the other side, you don't have a body. you can't do certain things. You have to live vicariously through us. If you love to fish, you can't physically fish. You can only go out on a fishing boat and be next to the guy with the pole that's pulling him in going, hey, yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we come back here to do the things we enjoy. We can't smell. We can't taste. We can't have sex. We can't do any of those things. So that's one reason we come back. The other reason we come back is to help each other. And people forget that. They forget. We are all here to help each other. And the biggest thing we're here to help each other learn are our 5 lessons. Everyone has to learn these 5 lessons in order for their soul to advance. You can't, the only thing you can really delay in this lifetime is learning the lessons. You can delay it from lifetime to lifetime. And how does that happen? It's because the universe wants you to think you have choice. They want you to think you have choice. Okay. The free will is you making this plan before you came here. That's your free will. But your only choices that you can have in this life is really to delay your lessons. So if the universe offers you door 1, 2, and 3, you take door 1, you go through it, you get married, you have a couple of kids, you get divorced. Where are you going to be? In front of door 1, 2, and 3. What do? Creature of habit. You take door 1 again. You go through it. You get married again. You have a couple more kids. You get divorced for the second time. Where are you again? In front of door 1, 2, and 3. You can do this all your life until you go to the other side. Or you can learn whatever the lesson was that you were supposed to learn. And then you don't take door 1 anymore. You may take door 2 or door 3 and still get married and have children, but it's not going to end the way it did before because you learned that lesson. And all of the lessons reinforce each other, but you really have to learn all of the 5 lessons. So what I did about 5 or 6 years ago is I created the Relationship Mastery Program, and it was divinely created with the angels because I work with the angels on a regular basis and I teach people how to talk to them. They talk in binary code and numbers. Their only job, their only existence is to help us, but they can't if you don't ask. That is their rule. Yeah. And it's the old adage that you don't know what you don't know, right? Very simple. And your belief system is based on what someone has taught you or what you've experienced. So the program is only a 7-week period, a 7-week program. That's it. But it teaches people how to get in touch with their soul. So the difference between your soul and your body, while you're in this body having an experience, we have a brain in our head, right? Hopefully, most of us. Hopefully. Well, your brain is nothing more than a massive computer, but it helps you sort through and organize and do what you need to do, but it has a very specific job. Your brain's job is here to protect you. And how does it do that? It does it by creating fear. So most people are making their decisions based on fear. And when you do that, it's literally a 50-50 crapshoot. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but you're always questioning yourself. When you learn how to get in touch with your soul, that's the knowing. Everyone has had something in their life that they've had to make a decision and they just knew they were supposed to do it. And they didn't think it through a lot. They just did it and it worked out fine. This is what I teach people how to do. Get in touch with your soul. So every time you make a decision, you know it's the right decision. And because your soul is so big, there's only some of it is in your body. Some of it's over your body. The people talk about seeing an aura. That's some of your soul. And the majority of your soul is in that 5th dimension, at lowest level of heaven. So when you get in touch with your soul, you're getting in touch with that part of your soul at that high vibration. And it has the knowledge of all your lifetimes. This is why people, if they meditate on a regular basis, they start having their ears ringing, right?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Okay, so that's a download because your brain is a computer. That's all it's doing is downloading information to your brain. And then suddenly you know things and you don't really know how you know them, but you know them. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's amazing stuff. It's amazing stuff. So from everyone that I put through the program, I put hundreds of people through the program, teaching them how energy works because everything in the universe is energy, right? Everything's energy. People don't understand it because they can't see it. But you can't see the air you're breathing. You can't see the microwaves cooking your food. It's there, right?
Yeah.
Energy is all around us. We are energetic beings. And you have to understand how energy works. And this is the reason that people can't see ghosts, okay? Because our eyes can only see so much, right? But it has to do with the shape of your eyes. Color doesn't really exist. We see color because of the way the light reflects off of things and the way our eyes pick it up. And energy is the same thing. When you start to understand how energy is, you feel it. Everybody's walked into a funeral and felt low energy, right? Everybody's walked into a wedding or a birthday party and felt that high energy, right? You feel it in a lightning storm, and the hair on your arms stands up. So you have to learn how to get in tune with that energy, because that's what you are, as an energetic being. And when you do that, you can get out of your head and you'll start seeing things. Very interesting thing that happened. My dad, when he was dying, he was 93, and didn't believe in anything that I did, thought it was, a bunch of hooey. And I went to see him one day, and he said, "I want to talk to you about what you do." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting. What do you want to know?" He said, "Well, I want to know why every morning I wake up and I see my mom standing next to the bed." And I said, "Well, about down time you see her. She's been standing here for almost a year, Dad." I said, "She's going to help you transition to the other side when it's time to go." He goes, "Well, what I really want to know is, why does she disappear after I wake up? After a couple seconds, she disappears." I said, "Dad, she didn't disappear. She's still right here. I can see her." I said, "The reason you can't see her is because your brain kicked in and it doesn't want to allow you to believe that she is here." So when you can get beyond that, you can start seeing things that you normally wouldn't have seen.
Yeah. Oof. Now, as far as the sleep state and dreams, you said that is we're in the fourth dimension.
That's the fourth dimension, right? So for most mediums, they have to raise their vibration, and they'll lower theirs from the fifth down to the fourth, and that's how they'll connect. For me, I can go back and forth at will, so I meet them here or there, it doesn't matter. But for your average person, when you go to sleep at night and go into your dream state, your vibration rises and you go to the fourth dimension. And there are dreams. Yes, your brain is a computer, and if there's things you haven't worked on during the day, it's a filing system. It'll process stuff and then put stuff to the back of your brain. But if someone from the other side is trying to contact you or get a message, or even someone from this side, believe it or not, say you've got a brother in California and you live on the East Coast, and something tragic is going to happen, or something happened to them, their soul can come visit you in that dream state as well. And you'll know it is a visit, not a dream, because it seems like it's real. And you wake up right away and you remember everything. That is a visit, not a dream. That's the difference.
Wow. The way you explain things is so perfect, and wow. Yes.
I try to explain it for your average person to understand it, because we're not all scientists, and scientists don't want to explain it, bottom line.
I know that,
And even the ones that have had near-death or death experiences, they're interested in it, but they don't want to explain it to the masses. For whatever reason, they don't want people connecting with their souls. That's the reality.
Yeah. So let's save the juicy stuff for close to the end of the show. So when it comes to, like you mentioned earlier, sex is just another form of communication.
Did I mention sex earlier? Did I? I didn't remember.
You said it once. How is sex used as a form of communication?
So one of the lessons you have to learn is trust and communication. You have to trust, number one, that there is a higher power. Okay. There's only one. There's 1,764 religions just in the United States. Forget the world, right? They're all right. They're all wrong. There is only one higher power. You can call it whatever you want. When you get there, you don't have to believe me. You'll find out for yourself. But you have to trust that there is a higher power, and you have to trust that there's a plan, that you made this plan so that everything that's happening in your life is happening for your highest and best. I mean, if you don't have sex, you don't have procreation, you don't have people, right? It's what we do. It's that simple. But it is a form of communication. If you have to be able to communicate your wants and needs to other people, doesn't matter if it's your boss, your employees, your friends, your family, your parents, your lover. It doesn't matter who it is. You have to be able to communicate your wants and needs. If you don't, they don't know by osmosis. It doesn't work that way. And sex is just another form of communication, because if you cannot trust and communicate outside the bedroom, you're not going to communicate and trust inside the bedroom. It's what it's based on. It's that simple. It's based on trust and communication.
Yeah.
For both people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we're back to sex. Sex sells.
Yes, it does. It's been used for well, I wouldn't say centuries.
Well, it's what we do. There's nothing wrong with it. It's and it's meant to be enjoyed. If it wasn't meant to be enjoyed, it wouldn't feel so good, would it? Right? That's reality.
Exactly.
That's reality.
So people can find you at your tell people where they can find you.
On my website, 𝐿eNEdward.com. Very easy. There's no S in there, just 𝐿eNEdward.com. There is a free webinar people can sign up for to learn a little bit more how energy works. And if they're interested in the relationship mastery program to learn how to change their energy and really the law of attraction to balance your energy so you can maintain it, you can sign up for a call with me there as well to see if you're a good fit for the program. Lots of videos. All my books are available on my website. They're available everywhere, but it's easier to just find them there and get a link.
Yeah. And then the one book, the poster that you got behind you is All's Fair in Love and Karma.
Yep, that has the 5 lessons in there that you need to learn. And in every book, I put the correct way to meditate because most people do not meditate properly and they do not protect themselves. And if you don't do it properly, when you open yourself up to the universe, you're opening yourself up for good and evil. Evil is real, and it is very, very prominent right now. This is what's happening in the world. It's playing out on a political field, just like balance plays out with money, because money is energy. That's why it's called currency, but it's really about good and evil. It's not about politics.
Yeah, yeah. So before we close the show out, what do you like to offer as a takeaway for our audience today?
So there is more. There's so much more. And if you really want to enjoy the life you have while you're here, it's really all about changing your energy and changing your perspective. The glass is not half full or half empty. The glass is refillable. Drink it, enjoy it, fill it back up. You're only here for a blink of an eye if you really want to look at it. You're on the other side for another 350 to 400 years before you come back again. It goes very quickly here, and the older you get, you realize the faster it goes. So enjoy while you're here. That's why you're here, and help each other, because nobody is an island. Nobody got here on their own, and you're not supposed to. You're supposed to be here to help each other. You really are. It doesn't matter who it is. Help each other.
Yeah. Life is short. Tomorrow is never guaranteed.
No.
The older we get, the wiser we get. And I tell you, I've learned that. Jeez.
Wouldn't it be great if you could start out with all, what was it? Benjamin Buttons, right? Started out with all the knowledge and went backwards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But get in touch with your soul, learn how to do that through meditation, and you'll have a lot more knowledge than you realize, because your soul has been around a lot longer than you.
It has. It has. And June, blessings and namaste, my friend. Thank you for sharing.
Do you know what namaste actually means?
I honor you. I honor the...
My soul knows your soul. In Sanskrit, my soul knows your soul.
Oh, wow.
Very deep.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
June,
and my soul knows your soul. Thank you.
We've probably known each other in a past lifetime. We just
guarantee everybody you run into, there are no accidents. Everyone that's in your life has been in a previous life. I guarantee it.
Yep. Absolutely. Thank you, June. Thank you very much. And
thank you. My pleasure.
Definitely go, for everybody listening or watching, go check out June's website, 𝐿eNEdward.com. Get in touch. Find out where you are, who you are, what your life path is. Meditate, reincarnation, learn why you are here, and get in touch.
You can book a reading with me. Yeah, I do Akashic record readings as well. If you want to see what your past life was, why are you here? What are you doing? What are you supposed to be doing?
Yeah, exactly.
All of that.
What's the path? What's this journey all about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, June.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching Conscious Radio Network's The Seance, and we will see you next time.